Different pitch, different result. The Indian machine seems to be clicking into action from the second game. Let's find out exactly what happened and how India cruised to a win at the Motera. I spoke about some degree of experimentation which India might undertake in this series. I also spoke about the fact that there are only now four games remaining till the next World Cup. India experimented with amazing success. They took Ishan Kishan to the top of the order and he delighted the fans and the team management with his audacious hitting. Ishan Kishan has been a work in progress. He's come up through the ranks of the Indian A team, the under-19 team, and he had a fantastic season in last year's IPL. He's got basic sound fundamentals as a batsman. He's got a steady head, he's got a fantastic high backlift, and he has fast hands. He also has the ability to convert good starts into something more prolonged and more meaningful for the team. He will want to do that in the next few games to come. But hats off to the Indian team management, especially Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli, who have created an atmosphere of freedom within the dressing room so that when guys come into the team, they are encouraged to play with freedom, to express themselves, and I think this has been a big enabler in the way Ishan played in his first match. The pitch was very different from the one we saw in the first T20I. A lot of the grass had been shaved off and that took away the juice from the pitch. India's bowlers saw that immediately and they started experimenting and also mixing the pace of their deliveries. They bowled a lot of slow ones and I thought that after the initial good work of Bhuvi and Washington Sundar, Hardik Pandya and Shardul Thakur really did a fantastic job. Shardul Thakur, two big scalps in this game, and his hard work over the years is now paying off. He's also got 2 or 3 different slow ones now and he used them very well. Likewise with Hardik Pandya, he used the slower ball, he took the pace of the ball, and I think that disrupted the English batsmen who liked the ball coming onto their bat. There is one key insight I'd like to mention on the show. England in the T20 game have been runaway successes, and that's because they go and attack from ball 1 till ball 120. Now there is a very interesting statistic in this. From the time the power play finishes, so from the 7th over till the 12th or the 13th over, England have the highest strike rate amongst teams in world cricket, and I think that is what India is now trying to kind of catch up on, and that's where we see somebody like an Ishan Kishan coming into the team and being given the license to play as aggressively as he can. And the second piece which I'd like to mention here is Rishabh Pant being promoted to number 4. I think the Indian team management and the analytics setup realized that over number 7 to over number 14 is where they need to accelerate, and I think Rishabh Pant will help them do that. If they start going at strike rates of 130, 140 in those 6 or 7 overs, India will be a completely different T20 outfit. So as you can see, there is a lot of thought which is going into the batting order shuffles, and I think Rishabh Pant at number 4 is also a great thought. I had mentioned in the last episode that there could be an outside chance that he might open, but I think this combination of Ishan Kishan at the top of the order and Rishabh Pant at 4 gives a great left hand right hand combination as well, and gives us just the impetus to keep that strike rate going from over number 1 to over number 14. India decided to go into this game with just 5 bowlers. I think Virat Kohli somewhere has got used to this, going into a game with 5 bowlers, and he's kind of mentally prepared that even if one of them has a bad day, the team will just ride through it. Playing with 5 bowlers meant that Surya Yadav came into the team. He didn't get a bat, but I think that's a good decision as well, because having somebody like Surya at number 6 or number 7 ensures that there is acceleration from over number 14 to over number 20. So I think what India is now trying to do is to play a very aggressive brand of cricket, wherein they will probably go with 5 bowlers, but they will go in with that extra batsman. So even if they lose wickets early, they will still want to keep the momentum and the strike rate up. So I think that's the way we will see India play in the next 3 games and possibly even at the World Cup. England looked off the boil a little bit. Remember, this has been a really strenuous tour for them with all the bubble and the quarantine. I think they rocked up a little bit jaded for the second game. And apart from Roy, their batsmen seemed to be upset with the lack of pace on the wicket, and the Indian bowlers kind of exploited that. So I think England need to look at how they are going to adjust to a lot of these slower balls which are going to be bowled to them. And I think the way they adapt in the next game is extremely crucial, because whoever wins the third game kind of goes down the home stretch in a more confident manner. So England will want to regroup as a batting unit, assess what's happened in the last game, look at the speeds at which the Indian bowlers have bowled, and they will, I think, try and stay off the back foot and play with the horizontal bat a little bit more than they did in the second game. It looks ominous for the England team because the Indians seem to be getting their act together. Let's see what happens in the third game. I'll see you after that game with a review of that. But the third game, as I said earlier, is going to be extremely crucial. It's probably going to be a series clincher, in the sense that the team which wins that game will probably end up winning the series. Keep your thoughts and comments coming using the hashtag AskJatin, and I'll be happy to reply to them. See you then. Thanks for watching.